Hello and welcome to another exciting season of Slot It In There, your lovely tech show that has other gaming, and we go through loads of other tech. It's been brilliant. We've been away for a very long time, longer than we wanted, but now we are back and we're going to go full on with tech, full on with gaming, full on exciting stuff that hopefully you will enjoy. As always, to help me on this lovely journey, I need to bring my two co-stars in. It's Tim and Damien.
Hello.
Oh, jolly good. Guys, what have you been up to briefly before we get into it since we've been off air?
Mainly playing games.
So many games.
So
many games.
Jolly good. I mean, we've been busy on the channel with lots of other videos that the viewers can watch as well, can't we? But yeah, as the main thing, just playing lots of games, which hopefully we're going to start talking about right now. So this is the part of the show where we go through the games that we've all sort of been playing this week and just tell you a bit about them. Whether you should go and get them, play them yourselves, it's entirely up to you. So to get the ball rolling, Damien, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been looking through the indie scene, and this week I have been playing Death Troopers. Steven Game Studios, featuring a lone wolf developer, Stefano, have a vast back catalogue of games and using Unreal Engine to produce some awesome things. However, Stefano has taken to the dark side of the Star Wars universe and produced a trilogy of amazing demos. The one I've looked at is Star Wars Death Troopers, and if you're squeamish, I'd look away just after the TIE Fighter docks. This demo starts with a cool setup. An animated intro sequence giving you the plot. Although the voice acting could be better, it does get the scene built up. Playing as a stormtrooper, you've been sent to locate and investigate a missing Star Destroyer. Once aboard the vessel, for a short period, you partake in a walking simulator. But this starts to set the pace of what's to follow. You're then having to protect yourself and survive as this demo turns into a horde defense game. You have to stay alive and wait for the timer to run down in a very limited corridor area, and after that, well, what can I say? You'll be treated to the extreme dark side, and I'm pretty sure I felt the force of sithing my pants. Remember, this is a demo and a single developer, so it lacks some of the fine polish, bells and whistles, and there are a few bugs, but what you currently get can only be described as Star Wars by George Romero and not George Lucas, and in my opinion, that's not a bad thing. From start to finish, this demo will take up just over 10 minutes to complete, and if you're hungry to give it another go, well, there is an option for a nightmare mode too. For what this is, I really enjoyed it, and the donation price, which you can set yourself, is so worth helping the developer out, and hopefully in the future, we might get more than just a demo.
As games go, I know it's fairly basic, but at the same time, it looks great. I mean, I had a little go at it as well because I know you sent me the link for it. And the one thing that I was noticing was that it was quite tricky to aim, but that doesn't detract from the fact that it's a really interesting concept, something that's pretty unique. And I would love to see that be turned into a full-fledged game. But I don't know where he stands with like Star Wars IP and that kind of stuff.
Doesn't know on it.
I wouldn't imagine Disney are very happy with it, to be fair, but you know,
quite possibly.
Quite possibly. Look
but
good though.
That doesn't mean that. Yeah, it doesn't mean that we don't want to see more of it. And if we do want to see more of it, this is what the fans are asking for. Give us more.
For a single developer, and grabbing what's available asset wise and other bits and pieces, a lot of time and effort and love has gone into that game. It's not without its faults. It's not without its bugs. But the concept, single developer, it's amazing for what it is. And I think maybe some AAA companies might want to take notice of what people are doing at home. Just saying.
Yeah. Disney, keep an eye out for this guy. Hire him.
Take him on.
Please.
Very good, very good. Well, I'll go on what I've been playing. So this week, I've mainly been playing Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So, Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This is an absolutely awesome game, and I haven't even finished it yet. I've been playing it because it's like 50 hours long to complete it, I believe. I'm pretty much near the end, but it's such a gorgeous game. Basically, if you've ever played a Zelda game, you play as Link, and you have, in some certain circumstance, have to go and then save Zelda and the Kingdom of Hyrule. But the main difference with this one, because it was originally supposed to be some DLC for Breath of the Wild, but they expanded it so much they released it as a game, is that you sort of, unlike other sort of Zelda games where generally people are like, who's this character? I don't know who you are. You know, when they find out through the adventure, you know, they just heard a story about some ancient hero that'll come and save the land. Everybody knows you this time, so it's really nice when you go to half the characters. They're like, all right, Link, how are you? How you doing, mate? And oh, what's happened again? She's disappeared. Things like that. So it's quite good in that sense and a bit refreshing. But the main mechanics, obviously, in this one is you're not just on land. You also get to go up in the air, and you also get to go underground and all that lot. So that's quite cool. Obviously, you've got 3 different planes to go on, and some cool little tasks up in the air, and some cool tasks underground that you have to go and look for as well. Obviously, it's pitch black down underground, so you know you need sort of fruit to do light. So that's quite good. Lots of good mechanics in it, and also you've got the mechanic to build stuff as you go along. So that's cool. You just pick up any elements, you can stick them together, and you can make vehicles and lots of other things. And that's great then for trying to solve how to do puzzles, because obviously the game's designed so you do it in a certain way. But once you've built stuff, you can actually do it in your own way, and it's quite cool because a couple of times I got a bit stuck and I tried to watch a walkthrough, and people were doing stuff different to how I would be doing it or how I was creating stuff. So it's really good because you can find different ways to solve a problem. You don't have to do the correct way, as it were, because you can build stuff to get around it. So it's absolutely great in that sense. I really enjoyed it. I just loved exploring it, and that's why it's taken me so long to do it, because I don't have a lot of time, because I just want to get to every nook and cranny and explore it. So it's an absolute brilliant game, and just deserved for like being down for getting loads of Game Awards the other year, because it is an absolutely cracking game. So, guys, have you played this game? I absolutely loved it. Have any of you had a chance to play it?
I'm going to be controversial and own up to never playing it because it's not my type of game.
Shocking. I can appreciate that, though. Well, how about you, Tim? Have you played it?
I have not. The last Zelda game I think I played was Ocarina of Time. Was a long time ago now, though.
Yeah. No, well, Ocarina of Time, of course, is a classic. But I mean, what I really liked about this Zelda game is, like, if you play Breath of the Wild, you know, more modern games, everyone's like Breath of the Wild's better, but actually this one is a lot better. Like I sort of said in the video, I'd pick this as your starting point. If you've not played a Zelda game, maybe play one of the really early ones. I'd probably play the SNES one, isn't it? Link to the Past, and then we've got to feel what Zelda's used to be like. Try Tears of the Kingdom, because it's absolutely great. Like I say, if I had more time, A, I would have finished it by now, and you know, B, I'd probably explore more, because I do really love just going off and explore it, which I don't like doing in lots of RPGs. But yeah, it's a well-deserved game of like getting Game of the Year, or trying to get Game of the Year against some other big games. But yeah, very, very good game indeed. And finally, Tim, Ben, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've gone in a completely different direction, because Chris, you had a sort of older game, and Damien, you've had a small indie developer, and I've been playing the game that pretty much everybody else on the planet has been playing, Helldivers 2. After 25 years of waiting, we finally have a Starship Troopers game that's true to Paul Verhoeven's vision. Helldivers 2. Now, yeah, I know it's based on a Robert A. Heinlein novel, but the thing is, a lot of the subtext that Verhoeven had wasn't in that book.
No! Sweet liberty! No!
Nor the comedy, for that matter. So it's time to board your ship, in this case, the Superintendent of Family Values. Select the stratagems and boosters best suited to your mission. And get ready to battle. Oh, and dive. You got to dive. I mean, it's hell dive. It's in the name. Now, the whole point of this game really is to make you feel like a badass, and you really do playing it. But actually, one of the interesting side effects of this game was the friends we made along the way, which sounds a bit like a bit of a cop-out, but genuinely it's reconnected me with a whole bunch of people that I used to play games with, haven't spoken to for a long time, and all of a sudden, we're all wanting to play this together, and that's just been awesome. And then, of course, inevitably, you will die. Many times. To bugs. To bots. And, of course, more frequently, to your much beloved teammates. Oh, and occasionally, even though you're on a bot map, you will die to a bug. In this case, I'm dying to a bug where I got stuck inside of a rock next to a hell bomb. Got some distance, though.
Calling in reinforcements.
There are only two enemies in this game. The bots on one side and the bugs on the other. There is also possibly a third enemy that's about to enter the arena. And despite popular opinion that it's probably Sony, we think it might be the Illuminate. There are really only two types of people in this world. There are those that are already helldiving, and then there are those who have an annoying friend who keeps banging on about how good Helldivers 2 is and how they should be playing it. So, I think with that in mind, we should be asking a question. And that is, do you have what it takes to
Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Well, for a AAA game, that looks a bit buggy to me, mate.
See what you did there.
boo?
Boo.
Well, I show you a bug in the game, so yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
And it's took 25 years old. Is it
Starship
25
Troopers.
years? Yeah.
I was being kind because I didn't want anybody to feel old, but it's actually 27 years old. Does anybody else feel old yet? I saw that at the cinema, and it was an 18 certificate.
Oh, that was
1997.
Only feels like a couple of months ago since I sat down and watched it. But
Yeah,
not
it
getting
would have
any
been
younger,
nice
boys.
if they. It would have been nice if they got the actual Starship Troopers game right. But
Yes.
as nobody seems to be playing yet, and everybody's playing Helldivers 2. What can you do? Just
Why
join
play
the
a
crowd.
demo? Why play a demo when you can play a full game? Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here we come to a different part of the show compared to last season. It's called What the Tech, and it's all going to go with, it's a simple concept. We are going to show an image to Damien and Tim of a great bit of tech from past or present, and they've got to guess first of all basically what it is, and then obviously from that image I'm going to give them a bit of information, and they just got to guess what it is really. But it is a classic bit of tech, it's a bit of tech that could be current or classic, but it's a bit of tech, really amazing tech. I don't know. Just watch it and find out is really, because I don't want jabbing about. But anyway, let's get it up, the image up for them. Lovely. Can you see that, gentlemen?
I see the image, and I am raised with concern.
Raised with concern. Right. So have a look for a moment.
Age something.
And see if you can maybe come up with some ideas of what this great bit of tech may be.
Well, it looks like a chain link fence. I don't think it is because I can't see the links where the bits cross. So are we zoomed? Well, how far are we zoomed in? It almost looks like an electron scanning microscope.
That's a great bit of tech. It could be that.
And
Well, yeah, but it looks like an image that it's taken rather than anything else.
All right. Any
I'll be
ideas,
honest.
Damien?
None that I can say on YouTube, because that's
Uh,
really creeping me right out.
Oh, right, okay. Well, let's help
What-
you with some suggestions. Then. Oh, do you want to
Yeah,
add
go
something
on.
to-
Well,
No.
well, no, I was just looking at it, going, it looks like a cot or something, like a baby's cot. Like that, it
Right.
looks like there's a button, like there's a child or something in there, and they've got something with a button on. Is it like a teddy bear or something? Maybe.
I was
Go on, give us the
thinking,
options.
I was thinking
Go on.
like a dog crate kind of thing, where you're going out the house and you don't want to leave the dog running around, that kind of thing. But the fact that it's got what appears to be a soft cushioned bottom panel, and that to me looks like a very zoomed in Bugs Bunny kind of thing right now.
But none of that's. Yeah, it's not tech though, is it?
I know. This is
Oh,
why
right.
I'm worried.
Oh, right, okay. Well, let's see. Let's see what your options are. Okay. First of all, is it a cage put outside of apartment windows to allow young children to get some fresh air? Is it B, a double-decker travel cage to transport multiple animals at once? Or is it C, a house designed totally of wire mesh that is environmentally friendly due to its lack of other wasteful, harmful materials to the planet?
I know what I'm picking.
Does that help you at all, gentlemen?
I know
No.
what I'm picking.
C is very disturbing in a realm of what? The double-decker travel cage? It could be that. I'm gonna go with what are you gonna go with? I went first last time, Tim. What are you gonna go with?
I'm going A.
Go A.
I had a feeling it had something to do with young children, and that is where I'm going with this.
So you think it's a cage they put outside of apartment windows to allow young children to get some fresh air? Okay. What were you thinking then, Damien?
I'm gonna go B because C's ridiculous.
Do you not think it would be environmentally can't say the word friendly house? No, he's not swayed. So fair enough then.
It would be stupid to have a house made like that. I'm just saying. So
It'll
I'm
contribute to
going
global warming when you turn the radiators on. All the heat escapes.
Well,
Ready days will be a nightmare.
well, yeah, maybe it's only part of it. I don't know. It's only part of an image, but there you go. So what are you going to go for? You're going to go for B though, a double-decker travel cage.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's sensible. It's understandable. C is not.
C's not. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Okay, so I can reveal the answer as it is A. It's a cage put outside of apartment windows to allow young children to get some fresh air.
I've
Hang on,
got
that was
an
a
issue.
button, and that was definitely a small child.
All I'm saying to you is you can't include photos of Tim's youth in this and expect me to guess that that's what it is. This isn't fair.
Nah,
This is rigged.
I was born bald. That's not me.
I mean, I got off your parents, but if you want to deny it, Tim, it's fine. It's all right. So
I will confess though that I knew that a cage put outside of apartment windows that you could put a child in existed. And that is why I went for that one.
Did exist. There's a lovely picture of it. And again, there's a newspaper clipping from the time. In the 1900s, there was a widespread case of tuberculosis, okay, and lots of schools were built outside to let the ventilation in, and it's basically a concept from that. In 1922, a patent application for a portable baby cage was submitted, and the cage was intended to be suspended on the external edge of a window in which the baby could be placed. And this is obviously designed for flats or apartments that didn't have a garden and everything, so the child in those sort of times when you had things with tuberculosis could get some fresh air. It could be out in the fresh air. So they laid them out in there to have a nap or a little play in those apartments. So it's a real thing. It did actually happen. And it was very popular before the Second World War. Surprisingly, after that, they didn't get used during the war because obviously you had to have your curtains shut and sort of doors shut obviously at night. And that was What the Tech for this week.
Okay, so this is normally the discussion section of the episode, and this season we're going to open up with something controversial, something very, very much on the kind of thoughts of everyone. Is this the worst generation of consoles that's been released ever? And we're talking the PS5, the Series X and S.
It's a good question.
It's a controversial one, like you say.
Can I start by asking a question of my own?
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, what games consoles do everybody here own?
Well, I own lots. Out of this generation, well, I have an Xbox Series X and a PS5, and I'll throw Switch in there. It's sort of across 2 generations, but Switch is sort of this generation. So
the
I have
last
all of them.
generation I bought into was the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One S. I replaced the 1 to a 1S because smaller, nicer, special edition. And basically, I did not move forward into the next generation because basically at the time just couldn't buy one, couldn't get hold of it.
No.
And so I only own 2 games consoles, and one's a Sega Dreamcast, and the other one is a Wii. I wonder if that maybe is an indication of where people are standing on this one. I don't know whether it is so much a problem with the current generation of hardware, but rather the games. Because back in the day, to go back to when dinosaurs ruled the earth, when you made a game, you didn't have beautiful, realistic Unreal Engine 5 graphics that just looked amazing. You had to do something to make your game stand out, and that came down to gameplay, only gameplay. And in modern titles, when your game looks really pretty, people tend to buy it. So I'm not sure necessarily whether it's an issue with the games consoles or whether it's an issue with the games.
I'm going to go with this is more on the software side because as of yet, we haven't had anything to fully push either Sony's PlayStation or Microsoft Series X consoles to their absolute limits. To be fair, I don't think we've actually had anything that's kind of tickled them in any particular direction other than they look a little bit better. But to me, most of the games are just reskinned from previous versions.
Yeah, I definitely. If you're looking at graphics and, like say, pushing the hardware to the maximum, then in that sense, yes, it's a big letdown. That's why people think it's probably a bad generation. I think some of the games are okay, but story wise and great games to play. But like I say, they really don't push the graphics. Those sort of ones that do it. I mean, as a prime example, it's whether you class the Switch in it, isn't it? The Zelda game I played, it's obviously not graphical or not a lot, but it's really good. One game of the sort of year awards. I mean, you've got more recent things like you could think it did really well, like Vampire Survivor. It's probably not, it's crossed the last 2 generations, but you've got games. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, those sort of games, you know what I mean? It can do really well. So there is games out there that'll do well. But I suppose in Vampire Survivor, it was on all things, isn't it? It's not just an exclusive onto one of them. But yeah, people tend to be disappointed, like in your Spider-Mans, isn't it, on your PS5? You're paying so much for only a 20-hour game in it. I think quite a lot of people in my mind are obsessed on length for time and obviously, what it looks like compared to the actual story quality and everything.
I think you missed a key component out there, though.
Go on, Ed.
Broken at launch.
That is the problem, and I will go. That is the problem with this generation. So many games are just launched broken, aren't they? Because they think they'll patch them, and that's usually down to the big greedy people at the top, isn't it? Telling to push out the door. Obviously, most famously, like Cyberpunk, that they were telling you it was going to be another year, but they told you to kick it out the door. But so it was broken, but you waited a year later, and then it worked perfectly and was lovely, isn't it? So if you've given them a correct amount of time that the developers are telling you, it works. That a lot of that's happening, which then doesn't help. Going on, isn't it? So you got your bad ones like Redfall. That was another terrible one, wasn't it?
That was just a disaster. That was an absolute. That's an embarrassment.
Yeah,
you should own that and just literally refund people, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, And they seem to be flogging dead horses, isn't it? Like the Suicide Squad, that's not done very well in it, but they've changed it in the public eye rather than going, we'll take it away, and redo something with it, isn't it? Or
Mhm.
just put that on the back burner. They've carried on with stuff like that because they've already invested in it. But so yeah, I suppose go back to the question: is it the worst generation? Yeah, but in one sense, but out of the whole 9 generations we've had across the past, is it really the worst? Do we feel? Is there another
Games
generation that we can contend with?
games wise, I think yes.
Yeah.
Because previous generation consoles, although even all the way back to the Atari 2600,
Mm.
you've got your games, as in lots of games. And so far, we've not really had anything amazing, nothing spectacular. We haven't even had a massive avalanche of games. There's been nothing. Microsoft was dry for their first year or so. They couldn't even bring it out with their launch title or flagship Halo. They failed
Mm.
there. And I don't know what's gone on in Sony camp in Team Blue, but at the minute, after watching the State of Disgrace the other week,
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. What they used to be, the ones to beat, and right now they're beating themselves up in a corner and crying about it.
And I'll also mention about the Helldivers 2 controversy, because that didn't do them any favors either. I mean, they've had other games downvoted on the Steam library now because
They're blocking 200 countries from being able to use their third-party games by not having PSN in those countries.
exactly.
They're not helping themselves at the minute.
And their justification for it was, oh, well, we're doing it because it's better security. Sony, who are notorious for getting hacked, it's just, I don't see how that works. It's clearly a ploy to data mine people. It just doesn't make good sense. I don't know what they're playing at.
No, it's not good at all. But let's try and have a counter argument, a very small counter argument. You already mentioned the Atari 2600. Do we not count that's in the second generation? I mean, you had the Fairchild and you had the Intertelevision, which had some good. I mean, but do we not count that ET came out on the Atari 2600 and nearly killed the whole console gaming industry at the time? Do we not count that as a really bad generation compared to now? Thoughts?
I would like to say that is the worst thing that's happened, but the way things are going right now, I've got a funny feeling there could be the possibility we see something like that yet again, only this devours the companies that are actually out there. It will absolutely destroy them.
Wow. It's a cheery
Who
thought, isn't
knows?
it? You heard it here first, though.
Hot take.
We're not going to have any games. Season 3, we won't be covering games because there'll be nothing worth playing and it would have all broken. Or we'll just go back to the SNES and Mega Drive because it was, the
Even
stuff.
if we have to go to the pub, pool, darts, that kind of thing.
There you go.
We can do
Right
that.
back there. Bit of billiards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some board games.
Board games.
I'll get a deck of cards out.
Be great. So, in conclusion, I think we're already there, isn't it? Are we all saying it's the worst generation? What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I'm a bit unbalanced on it because I want to say yes. I know that the hardware is good, but like Sony and Microsoft have let us down.
We're halfway through, in theory, that this new generation, and we've only just stopped literally supporting the PlayStation 4 and what have you. Literally just stopped it now, and we're halfway through the generation, and we don't know if we're getting a PS5 Pro. Microsoft is already talking about generation leaps with their next console coming out in a couple of years' time, early.
Yeah, and interestingly, they've also said that it's going to be much more like just a PC. So what's the point then?
I think we've established then, gentlemen, it is the worst generation. But obviously, because we want to chat with the viewers and have that interaction, please put in your comments down below if you agree with this or you have your strong opinions, and then obviously we'll do in the future. We'll try and do a bit of feedback. So please leave some comments. Then we might have a little chat about your comments and do that as well.
Yeah,
lovely jubbly.
It's your letters. It's your letters. It's your letters. It's your letters.
Well, it's that time again to look over the viewers' letters. They're sending us in a problem, and we'll sort it in the way we usually do things. However, this season we're doing things a little bit different. Some say he can tie his shoes with his feet. Others say he made a Happy Meal cry. All we know is he's the Gamesmeister.
Ah, boys. You appear to have caught me in flagrante, having just stepped out of the shower, after deep cleaning the cargo hold, after Percy's latest pet project escaped. He does get overexcited. Don't you, boy? Yes, you do. However, it is I, the Gamesmeister, the gaming god of the galaxy, now reduced apparently to reading out viewers' letters on a YouTube channel. The things I'll do for a buck. Each week, we'll be looking at a viewer's letter, in which the author has a particular dilemma that they are unable to resolve themselves. The boys will be tasked with resolving this issue for them by the only way they know how, playing computer games. So let's get on to this week's letter. Here is this week's letter. Hello, slot it in there. I need help and guidance, and I know you guys are on the money for resolving issues. Oddly, I mention money from the outset, because that's what this is about. Money. And a lot of it. A filthy Bill Gates pocket change amount of money. Recently, I took the initiative to strike a deal for my company. You could say it's the coalition of my life's work. This would either leave me in exile at my world's edge, or feeling like an alpha dog at the roadhouse. Usually, decisions of this matter are like playground games to me, but for some rare reason, I'm now at turn 10 for if I should continue on in my role and take this to the Zenimax, or if I should be happy with how I swung my mojang, finish the deal on a high, and step aside gracefully like a ninja in theory. I mean, I'm double fine with either, but I'm at the point where I don't want to tango with the business world now. I got what I wanted and are living like a king. My head is like a blizzard with all this, but I'd be happier with your unique way of making the decision for me. Thanks in advance, P3 the Daddy Spencer. So there we have it. This is the dilemma that our viewer is facing this week. Should he stay and continue earning the megabucks at his current company, or should he spread his wings and fly into the unknown? This is what you, the boys, have to decide this week. And this week, the challenge will be undertaken by Tim. Tim, you will be playing the classic 1980s arcade game by Capcom, Ghosts and Goblins. Whilst also being known as a classic arcade game, it is also known for being extremely difficult to complete. And your challenge is to complete level 1 with just the 3 lives that the game gives you with the 1 coin. Good luck, Tim. You will certainly need it. Engage.
Okay, Tim, it looks like you've got the jolly task of fielding this challenge. So you've got the choice of, does Daddy Spencer stay doing what he's doing, or does he step aside and move on to doing something else? What do you think?
I think what I would like to see is for him to move on, do something else. It's nothing better than a refreshing start, is there, in life? So
Absolutely not.
Good stuff.
So I would say with the challenge, that means that if I succeed, I get what I want, and if I don't, he doesn't.
Okay, so let's see how you do, Tim. Kick it off.
No. Okay, here we are. Ghosts and goblins. 3 lives, 1 level. Let's do this. Let's not jump. That's jump. Right, okay. We've got jump and we've got throw. Ooh. I don't know what any of these things are that I'm picking up. Whether they're good, they're bad, I don't know. Oh no! What's that? Oh, flamey things. Okay, flamey things. Flamey things are probably good, right? Oh! Yeah, die, stupid snake. No! That was the wrong button. Does that mean I have to start from the beginning again? It's the thing about old games. They're really unforgiving. Really unforgiving. There we go. Okay, I just want to pick that thing up, whatever it is. Oh, no, wrong way. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? This isn't looking promising, is it? Okay, so you get to keep the weapon that you picked up from the previous run. Isn't that the weapon that I started with? Oh, okay. At least you don't ever seem to run out of them, which is good. Okay, we'll get that. Okay. Can I fall down? Yeah, I can fall down there. Ooh. No! No! Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, I was so close to my armor. What happened? Did I get... Is this my 3rd life? I don't even know anymore. Ooh, that was close. Right. Oh! Oh, no! I thought maybe I could sneak under them. That's hard. Ooh, out over there. Oh my god.
Well, Tim, you spent a lot of time in just your underpants running around on that one.
I did feel very exposed to the environment, it has to be said. There was a distinct lack of armor through most of it.
I was going to say it was like you were allergic to it at one point. And
yeah,
magpie syndrome. Got to have them all. Yeah, shiny.
I had to have them all. They were sparkling. They looked so enticing. I had no idea what any of them did. Well, in fairness, though, one of them was an extra life. It took me a moment to work that out. Because I carried on playing. I was like, is this my 3rd life? I can't. So, yeah, there was one thing at least that was worth collecting. I don't know what the rest of it was.
Just points.
Points. Mind you, I did, I think, was it my last run where I did try to just speed through rather than collecting anything. I just thought, I'll go underneath, not try and go up the top and go a lot. No.
Yeah.
I just got my derriere handed to me on a silver platter.
The Firebird Demon was the seal of your fate.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Oh,
figure out how to hit him. He was always above me. I don't know whether you can like angle a shot or whether you've got to jump and throw or what.
You can jump and throw, angle a shot, so up or straight.
Yeah.
But with that one, you kind of have to wait for him to swoop or be near a level where you can jump and hit him. And he 5 hits.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought he swooped down and you could get him, but yeah.
You know, I want to retract my original statement of saying that the newest generation of consoles are the worst. Whatever that game was on, that's the worst generation. Curse them all.
So what have we decided for good old Phil?
Looks like he's gonna stay.
He's staying, yeah. So that was pretty decisive. I thought that was the end boss of the level, but it wasn't. So I was nowhere near. So obviously, what he has to do is stay where he is.
Solid.
And that's the end of the show. Gentlemen, have we had a good time on episode 1 of season 2?
I've had
Yay!
fun. Controversy, everything. We've had it all the emotion.
All the emotion. I'd say good game playing, but I don't think we did we, Tim? But, you know.
Yeah, all right.
Mr. Underpants.
Move on. Nothing to see here.
Move on. Well, brilliant. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, make sure you do the things that I always forget, which is like, subscribe. What's the other bit, Damien?
Comment and tickle the bell.
Comment and tickle the bell. There you go. Yeah, don't forget to put your comments in. Like I say, we will probably down the line do a response episode to your comments and everything, or maybe next episode, because I don't know, we record it a bit further. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, don't forget to put your comments, because we probably will do a response episode in the future.
We've seen Tim in his underpants, so on that blue screen of death, it's time to say goodbye.
Bye.
The statement is false.
The statement's false.